Number two, the spirit of Elijah. Sila brandos ke baharia koshibrestia. The spirit of prayer and supplication. Now, watch this. The Bible tells us that it was at a time when the prophets of Baal seemed to be reigning over the territory, and the prophets of God had to go in hiding. Why? Because of a spiritual system that was antagonistic to God's program, captured in a woman called Jezebel. Are we together now? That Jezebel was an extension of a spiritual system that is antichrist. It's carried many names: Babylon, Jezebel. Now, Jezebel is a spirit that cannot be activated until she's connected to government, because the character of the spirit of the Antichrist is that it wants government, the place of influence and authority. So now Jezebel is married to Ahab. Are we together now? And the prophets of Baal are excelling under her leadership. Suddenly this man shows up, this spiritual system called Elijah the Tishbite. And the Bible tells us that Elijah is not just a person. Elijah is a spiritual system that foreruns the move of God. Every time God is about to show up in a territory, Elijah must precede him. Elijah is a prophetic and apostolic system that is mandated with several assignments. Number one, to restore the patterns and the ordinances of God. Every time there is decadence within a territory, the spirit of Elijah is required within that territory. Mandated with the assignment to call men back through genuine repentance to rebuild the altars of God again. Are we together? Before the great and the terrible day of the Lord, Malachi said that Elijah will come again. When Jesus was about to show up, Elijah came again in the person, the spirit and the power of Elijah. John the prophet, who we call the Baptist. I think I shared it on this platform, if I remember, that John was not a Baptist. John was a prophet. In fact, he was a witness through prophecy. Are we together? Baptism was a strategy to help him identify the Christ. So a formula was given to him during his time of training, that every time you dip them in water, keep looking up. When he would dip, he would look up and say, be on your way. These wicked guys came to distract him, because the spirit of the Antichrist kept searching for that seed that will bruise the head of the serpent. And they suspected. It tells you Satan is not as accurate as we've given him a lot of credit. Moses grew up in the same palace, at the center of wizardry, and yet the eye of witchcraft could not see him. Are we together? So he kept baptizing, and then he saw this young man, 30 years old. For 18 years thereabout, he had disappeared. We don't know what happened. From age 12, the Bible is silent about him. The next time we see him, he's 30 years old, coming to be baptized. And John said, behold the Lamb that takes away the sins of the world. He says, I'm not worthy to untie even the latchet of your shoe. And Jesus said, suffer it to be so. Now we're dealing with patterns now.